What is up, cool cats of the interwebs? It is your girl Haley from GameLuster back at it again with another Buy, Try It, or Deny It podcast for November 2020. We are down to the nitty gritty. This is our second to last regular episode of BTD, guys, for 2020. Woo! Everybody cheer. Oh, I was gonna say. Don't sound excited or anything, but you know who I have with me already. Regular guys. Awesome people. We have Brennan.
Hello.
And as always, my biggest critic, Mike.
What's up?
So today we are going to kick it back to October, talk about those games, talk about November's upcoming games, maybe talk a little bit about Cyberpunk and all those crazy things if we have time. But first, let's start it off with those games coming out. That came out in October. We're going to first talk about Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. It is a platformer developed and published by Toys for Bob and Activision. Came out on PS4 and Xbox One. Released on October 2nd. It has a open critic score of 85 for top, critic average, and 91% for critics.
Yeah, this game is awesome.
I was gonna say, you must be pretty happy about this one.
Yeah, this one left me satisfied for most of the month of October.
You know what was weird? Like, not to like completely derail this. But like I don't know, maybe it was because I wasn't following it, but like I had such a hard time. Like, I didn't have a hard time, but I didn't see any like reviews. Like I don't remember seeing any reviews for it, but like I'm seeing all these high scores. I was like, where was I that week? Like, what was I doing?
It's a question for the ages.
Right. So like, how does this stack up to the previous ones? It's a great question.
Feels like the games from the 90s.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was hard as hell. I wanted the older one, and it played. You know, I mean, yeah, you had the new thing with the masks and powers. Otherwise, it was just like Crash Bandicoot from the 90s, which is what I wanted out of this game, and
That's amazing to hear. And it's actually like, I don't know, I remember us kind of talking about this and saying, you know, like, if they just do what they did before and they just make it look good, they'll be fine. And that seems to be like exactly what they did.
That's exactly what they did.
And that's exactly what people wanted.
Exactly.
So, yeah, good for them. I'm happy, you know, like, I mean, again, I'm not really a big fan of Crash personally, but like, I don't know, I still did this, and I have to at least applaud it just for the fact that it's like, no, this, you know, it's not even a remake, it's a full-blown sequel, and it's as good as it was comparable to the other ones, and that's fucking awesome. I wish other devs put that kind of care and attention into the older stuff without trying to change too much.
I mean, I think in my opinion it doesn't really surprise me because, I mean, where can you really go besides adding a couple mechanics, making it look cooler and giving it like a new like storyline? So I feel like you couldn't fail at making this game good unless that's what you actually set out to.
I guess you'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised.
I mean, you're not wrong. We've talked about other games on the show before, and they've just downright fucking sucked. It is what it is.
Crash Bandicoot hit it out. Crash Bandicoot.
Good. Fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm glad, dude. Like,
I feel glad for them. It's like a game that, like, those select people were excited, and I'm happy that those select people.
I feel like Activision, I don't know, at least between this and Tony Hawk, the, you know, Pro Skater 1 and 2, like, I don't know, I feel like Activision is, at least at this one point in time, being like, okay, guys, we gotta, like, buckle down and listen to these kids, and just kind of, like, not kids, people,
Because they're not
and
kids
children.
anymore.
I mean, some of them maybe are, but, you know,
Get
they've
on my
obviously grown up. Yeah, well, that too. Who isn't, right? You know, give them exactly what they want. Just, and I don't know, I'm only saying that between the continuation of Crash and the attention to detail of the Tony Hawk game, but yeah, it's just something I've noticed in Activision lately that's kind of it's nice to see.
Just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Take that, CD Projekt Red.
Someone salty.
A little bit.
We'll
Just a
talk
little
about
bit.
that
I mean, I
later.
am too.
You too,
but
Ubisoft.
yeah,
Fucking
same
watching you. Anyway. Next on our list is Star Wars Squadrons. It's space combat, developed and published by Motive Studios and Electronic Arts respective. It came out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Also released the same day as Crash on October 2nd, and it has a 97 for top critic average and 90 or 70. Oh, gee, Lord, numbers are hard. 79 top critic average and 79 for critics recommend.
I was
like
like, wow, I
not.
didn't know this game did that well.
Yeah,
97's
right. At
across
first I was
the
like, whoa,
board.
that's fuck.
But my brother got this game and I was watching him play it, and it plays like the old Rogue Squadron. Once again, it's like these companies took, okay, let's go back to the basics of what we did 20 years ago and just apply a little bit of new stuff and like that.
This is like, this is, I don't know. I was looking at these scores and I was like, I kind of like, I feel like I predicted this exact thing. Like, and I remember us talking about this last episode too, where we were talking, and it is to your point of, it just has to be Rogue Squadron. It just has to be Rogue Squadron, and they can't mess it up. And I'm glad to see that it was at least like brought up in conversation. Maybe not like a direct comparison, at least like in the online, maybe. Maybe more so in the story mode, which is awesome. It's cool that they didn't have microtransactions like at all. And I thought it was kind of funny that like people took digs at it for like wanting it to be more of a game, or I guess longer of an experience. And it's like these guys can't do anything right. They try and play it safe, and people are like, this game is too short, and it's like, what do you, God, come on. But all in all, though, I mean, I just kind of poking fun at that. Yeah, like this seemed really cool, and again, like this just seemed like so much fun in VR, and I'm glad that was like, I'm saying like a lot. I'm glad that was talked about in reviews and mentioned in comments and whatnot. I imagine having a full setup for that is just completely baller, and seeing people setups on Twitter, beautiful, beautiful.
On OpenCritic, it says that many critics were left feeling that this launching point, but many were left wanting, and I feel like that kind of said that they added a couple new things. That was big. So, I'm happy that everyone enjoyed it, but yeah, I feel like you can't just slap a couple new things on it, then slap a sticker on it and be like, ta-da! New, improved,
And
$60.
it was actually 40. From
Oh,
what
okay.
I saw, that was the thing. Like what they did put in was enjoyable. They just didn't put in enough.
Was it
Yeah,
worth
like-
$40?
According to the people I know that played it, yes. If it was a $60 game, there would have been a big.
Yeah, and they probably understood that in development, and they
Yeah.
were, and obviously they were like, all right, but if it sells though, we just make a kick-ass sequel, and there we go. The money starts flowing in from your space pockets.
Yeah, the day after this podcast goes up, Rogue Squadrons or Star Wars Squadrons 2.
I guess
We're calling it now.
Yeah,
Calling
we're calling
it
it now.
you heard it here first to those 6 people that listen. But anyway, I mean, I'm just happy that they were able to see that, hey, we're not putting enough into this, or we're not changing it enough, or we're not doing whatever enough to make this a $60 game. Instead, we're gonna make it $40, so nobody yells at us and gets mad that we stole their extra $20 for absolute.
Yeah, saves them a little outrage.
And last on our list for October, we are going to kick it over to Watch Dogs Legion. It's an action adventure. It's developed and published by Ubisoft Toronto and Ubisoft. Came out on PC, PS4, Xbox One. It just released today to the general public, October 29th. It is sitting at a 75 top critic average with only 62 critics recommending. That is a pretty wide gap and pretty low.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened here. Like, it seems that everyone really enjoys the playing as anyone mechanic. It gives it a kind of like, I've read somewhere someone calling it like a roguelite or roguelike experience. Um, Especially if you have permadeath on, which I thought was a really neat option. Um, Playing as anyone is really cool, but that comes at the cost of narrative cohesion. You know, having like over the course of the game, having 8 different quote main characters talk to other characters just feels very jarring, according to most. Um, and there's really no connection to the story at all, which doesn't really, no one's really talked about the story, so it can't be that revolutionary at any point. And neither were the stories of the first two. Um, I feel like the first two's strength was more of being like an immersive sim, and I feel like that's what this one accomplishes. But I feel like it only really accomplishes that and not much else. Uh, at least, you know, according to most of like the videos and comments that I've sifted through today. Yeah, I don't know. It seems good if you're looking for a specific experience of like, all right, I want to play a game where I'm presented a mission and it doesn't hold my hand the entire time, and I'm left to decide how I do things. Um, and if you're not looking for that, if you're looking for more of a dystopian hackery of futuristic London heavy narrative, you're gonna be mistaken here. This is more on the gameplay of like hacking and shooting and stealthing around than it.
Hello?
Hello? Did I die or did Brennan die?
I think Brennan
Okay, let me at him. I'll just keep recording. Chop it. So how you doing?
chilling.
How's IRL Lyra?
Pretty good. Just waiting for some dominoes to line up.
Oh, I'm gonna call her.
I made her laugh because I told her she called me dad.
I might as fucking well. You scold me as if I'm your child.
You've called me dad before.
If there is any dad in this friend group, it is you.
I don't know what you're talking about, youngin. Right.
Mike, are you gonna come over when we have a housewarming
I
party?
don't know if I could afford going.
Well,
When is it?
I don't know. When I actually buy a house. Probably sometime next year. I have to wait for
Okay, yeah. You want to
that's
do virtual mic at a party? Do that.
yeah. Just move to the East Coast. You and IRL Lyra move to the East
Jessica.
Coast.
Her name's Jessica.
I'm calling her Lyra. I think she'd be fine with.
No, she probably would.
I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
We were talking about IRL Lyra.
Who?
Mike's future girlfriend, aka my mom. Because apparently Mike's my dad now.
What?
I have lots of. This
What
is
are you-
scary. He doesn't get a single thing. Great.
Where were we?
You're talking about how
The power goes out and it's like he's lost his fucking memory.
Well, yeah, I was on a roll, dude, and then I was rambling about some shit.
Yeah, you are. Honestly, I tuned you
Watch,
out.
yeah, yeah, I was kind of done. We're
Yeah.
talking about Watch Dogs
We were
Legion.
talking about Watch Dogs. So, Mike, do you
Yeah.
have anything to say about Watch Dogs?
I've never actually played any of the Watch Dogs. I've kept my eye on them since the first one, and I've just never picked one up. I think it's a cool concept, this whole, cyber hacker kind of rebelling against society, but I just, for whatever reason, just never picked them up. I don't have anything against them.
That's fair. I feel like they were at first they were kind of like a GTA knockoff, but like with a hacking sort of overtone.
Right.
And now they've just kind of like devolved into like a we're hackers XD or something.
I watch the Rad Brad. Shout out to the Rad Brad. He's a dad now. He's awesome. Anyway, I watched basically. I watched him play the first few games, and I'm currently watching him play this one because honestly, they're not a game that I would personally play, but I think the concept of them is cool. So I enjoy watching the story, and I just enjoy his commentary. But this one, like, I like the whole you can play as anyone aspect, but I definitely see how critics would be like, this is repetitive, or There's no, cohesive narrative because when you play as everyone, it's basically the same. Like, all their missions, in a sense, are sort of the same. They follow the same structure, even if they are in a different location featuring different people, blah, 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 blah. And then, as for the non cohesive narrative, you have this character that, like, you can pick any character to build a relationship with, but it feels like they don't get deep within that person's story. You can't really develop tight bonds with that character because you don't really have much to go off of. It's basic, like, these people are very, like, flat on the surface. It's these guys bad because they're taking for London and I need to do something about it. Let's go defeat them. Like, there's no deep, like, they shot my mom and dad. At least not that I think of. Not at least that I've seen that there's nothing deep like that. But you're not, like, for example, and we talk about this game a lot because it's fucking Ghost of Tsushima. You were able to develop such close bonds with the character because you were there when the Mongols invaded and they kidnapped his uncle, and now you're getting his uncle back and you're fighting for your land and your people and you actually give a shit, and you can feel the drive of that main character. But in this, they're just like, that's a bad guy, I gotta tell him no. And then they do that, and then it's like, that's another bad guy, I gotta tell him no. Pew pew pew, next mission. So I feel like if Ubisoft really wanted to go the extra mile, they could have maybe made each character's story a little bit more interesting. But it's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of fucking time. That's a lot of fucking effort. That's a lot of fucking writing. That's more money than what they probably wanted to spend. That's more money and time that they probably didn't have. So I think it's good. It's a good idea. Do I think it was executed the best when it comes to narrative writing? No. But I definitely think it's an idea that someone else can take and run with because it obviously. So I'm curious to see where other people take this play as anyone aspect and go with it. Just make sure if you're doing it, your narrative side of it, the whole story plays into it, everything is deep and it's phenomenal and it's great because that aspect of that game falls flat when all the characters feel the fucking same.
Well said.
Yeah, I'll just go watch V for Vendetta.
It's almost November 5th. You reminded me. Thank you.
Remember the 5th of November.
The gunpowder treason and plot.
Yeah.
It's been years. But anyway, kicking it over to another Ubisoft title because we love Ubisoft here. Coming out in the month of November, we have my favorite, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's an action RPG developed and published by Ubisoft Montreal and of course Ubisoft. Coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox X. That's a mouthful. It's coming out on November 10th, and the PS5 version releases on November 12th because Sony's a little late.
I don't want to start off this conversation being a downer, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I can do it.
Let me get my tissue. Let me get my tissue. Here we go. Got my tissue so you can make me cry. Hurt my feelings.
I'm completely fine if I'm wrong. But, I'm probably saying this for a while, but I feel like Valhalla is going to be Assassin's Creed Origins 3. Or rather, just the third Assassin's Creed Origins in another location in another time. But it's going to be the same thing.
I think my heart just broke in half.
Yeah, and the more that I watch and read about this, and everyone's like, oh, but this is different. I'm like, no, but I really don't think it is. I think it's been done in some variation between the past two. And while that's okay, in some form, I would have just liked to have seen this rebranding of Assassin's Creed build on top of each other rather than, like, I don't even know, man. Like, just build, like, straight up with markers. You know how you just take one marker and you just put it in the end of another one, and it just looks longer, but theoretically, if you just chop it in half, it just breaks. That's what I feel like this new Assassin's Creed rebranding thing is. It's just the same thing. It's just the same marker, just different colors. Ooh, this one's blue. Oh, he's a Viking in this one. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a
Internally
big
crying.
downer. But I don't even say that like I feel like I say that like kind of haphazardly. But that's what I felt between Origins and Odyssey. And if anything, I felt like Odyssey was just kind of went into an even they skid into the opposite direction for me personally, where I felt like Origins was kind of bloated. If Origins is bloated, Odyssey is like on a different level. I don't even know if bloated is the most extreme. I don't know what the word after that is. I'm at such a loss that there's so much shit to do in Odyssey that I gave up halfway through because I was like, what? I can't keep up with all this shit. This is just a checkmark central on my map. And that's what most Ubisoft games are nowadays, and that's a common complaint. Going back to Watch Dogs Legion, was that it was a very bog standard Ubisoft game, and I feel like that same criticism is going to be applied with this one. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong. But I don't know. Mike, you mentioned that you were also kind of gonna be a Debbie Downer. I'll let you
Crying
take
so
your
hard.
stab at it.
Crying
It
so
looks
hard.
like fucking is only because people are saying, oh yeah, you got the boats and all that shit. Black Flag already did that.
Yeah.
It's cool you can form your own settlements, but it's just I don't know. It just feels like another Assassin's Creed to me. There's not enough for me to want to come back to the series. I haven't played Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed 3, because none of the games have enough to really draw me back in. And I feel, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to be a Viking, sail around, plunder some shit, do some shit, but
Okay,
And like,
boys.
no, hold on, not before, just to kind of, sorry, just to kind of like harp off of Mike really quick. I even forgot. I don't even remember what I was gonna say, but it was gonna be good. I got nothing. Sorry.
Okay. Cracking open my text. Y'all know I fucking love Assassin's Creed. I think everyone who's ever listened to this podcast knows I love Assassin's Creed. I got to college and I made friends with a guy named Charlie. Shout out to Charlie. I don't think he listens. On his computer for days, I binged the very first Assassin's Creed and then the whole Ezio trilogy in like not even a month. That's all I did 24/7. I was in his room playing this. I think he hated my guts, but we're still best friends, so I don't think. And then I got my own PlayStation, and then I started playing the games, and that's how I fell in love with the series. This apparently is supposed to be a mix of Odyssey and Origins, and the good things from the one. I fucking hated Origin. I thought it was stupid. I thought it wasn't a true Assassin's. I thought it was just run around in the desert and kill shit. That's it.
How did you feel about Odyssey?
Odyssey, I didn't even play. I had it pre-ordered and then I didn't have the money for it. And so I watched it played and I wasn't that all impressed. And I love the mythology of both games, but I just wasn't impressed with the story. But something about fucking Valhalla makes me want to play it. I don't know what it is, but I am super excited for this game. I feel like it's because it looks a little more mature. It's set during a more darker like era. It's a little bit grungier. The people, they're not savages, but they come off a little bit more rough. And I definitely like that about this. I mean, it's also giving me God of War vibes because her Norse mythology, but I fucking love it. I'm so fucking excited for him. I'm getting it for my PS5. But I also kind of like the aspect that they're taking with the mythology because, like, the last two sections had, like, they had, like, the Atlantis one, and it seems like they're going in a different route with the mythology this time. So I'm super curious to see how they work that in. And Mike talked about the settlement, and I'm super excited to be able to like build my own settlement So I have this main hub area that I always come back to rather than kind of just wandering around to like different cities all over the map and it just kind of being like a copy and paste of what I previously saw.
Yeah, I don't know. My only thing, having played both Origins and Odyssey, and a majority of the previous ones, I can't help but think, and again, not to say this to be like, to do a bit or anything, but like, I don't know, I do have some hesitations. I hope that you like it, but if you didn't like Origins, I'm just kind of worried because I keep hearing that, and even like you said before, it's going to be a mix of Origins and Odyssey, the best elements, but it's still going to have, that Origins Odyssey feeling to it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still a bit hesitant myself.
I think,
But I hope it's good. Hope it's fun. I don't want it to be bad.
at least for myself, this is the sort of time period that I've loved all three time periods within the last three. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. I mean, if I don't like it, fuck it, I don't like it. My bad, I lied. But I'm hoping that I do like it. I'm curious to see where they go and how, especially for the modern portions of the game. I feel like they've definitely gotten away from those with the past two games, so I'm curious to see how they work in the modern time periods and what's going on in that world, because that was one of the main points I always was interested in when I played the Ezio trilogy. I loved the modern scene, so I'm still curious to where they're going with that. I know a lot of people, because I read the subreddit, a lot of people are wanting, a game that's just set in the modern age. And I feel like if they ever do that, that's probably the end, because you can't really come back from that after you set a game in the modern time period. So I don't know. I'm curious. This game has me with so many questions. And the main thing is where the hell are they going? Also, are their
I mean,
faces actually to be there this time?
isn't Watch Dogs like modern day Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, kind
Question
of.
mark?
I mean, they're both Ubisoft.
I mean, when you think about it, it's based. Yeah, you could take the bad guy as Abstergo, and your little hacker group is the assassin,
Yeah.
or the bad
Yeah.
guys are the Templars. You're the assassins. You're trying to save your country because the Templars finally took over.
And I can't do feudal Japan because Ghost of Tsushima did that already, and they nailed it. So
I
running out of options, man.
Well, Ubisoft did a game, and I think China, the side scroller.
Yeah. Hmm.
So the only thing I
Yeah.
can really see them doing is maybe an expansion of that, like that, or maybe
That'd be
picking a
cool.
different period within Japan. I mean, I don't. Have we really gotten a lot of games set in China?
It's a good question. I don't really
Because
think so.
if we haven't, I would be interested in seeing China's history than Japan again. So I would be interested in having Ubisoft take us deeper within China's past, either, around the same time that the side scroller takes place, or maybe after, or even before. Wherever they want to go with it, I'd definitely be interested. You play as a female in that one, I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
So
Yeah, you do.
maybe they could just continue on with her story, depending on where that left off. So I'd be curious about future games. I don't know. Like, I'm happy that Ubisoft is taking a couple years in between each, because they definitely don't have enough interesting history points to really make a game. So,
Yeah, for real. They're gonna run out eventually.
so we're done talking about Assassin's Creed. I'm done crying internally. We're going to talk about a game that I know a lot of people are on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're actually going to be hype about this. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles, is it Morales? Right here.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's action adventure developed and published by Insomniac Games and Sony, coming out exclusively to that PS5 on November 12th when the PS5 launched.
All I'm gonna say is spider.
And I actually ask why you say that.
Yeah, is that
haven't
from
seen it?
the movie?
No, you can get a cat, and you get a little backpack, and the cat rides around with you all over the.
Wait, what? No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How have I not seen that?
If I am correct, you can actually use him to do stuff.
Dude, that's what? I didn't know that. Well, I mean, I was hyped before. Now I'm even more hyped, dude. That's awesome. Man, better not be fucking lying to me. Because now I have this image of a spider cat. Yeah.
That's
If
cute.
it's not exactly what I think it is, then I'm gonna be upset.
Jesus Lord, he got his hopes up.
You really did. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, Mike.
it's a little cat, and it's got its own little mask.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
now I'm Googling this too. Everyone right now, just Google spider cat.
Spider cat Miles Morales.
Oh my god, it does! It has its own little mask. There he is taking down a guy. There he is in the backpack.
Oh my god, wait, oh, it's an actual cat. No.
That's adorable.
No.
I think I just sold the game to Brandon.
He's got him. I'm gonna cry, dude. What?
He's a mask on. Look at those little whiskers sticking out.
backpack. He wears a mask, dude. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my god. That's amazing. How have we not seen that?
I can't believe no one has told me about this till now.
That's wild.
That's
Oh my
adorable.
god.
Yeah, I just made your day.
Okay.
Yeah, what?
Now we
Oh
all have to
my
go play
God.
Spider-Man.
Okay, well, yeah, so really quick, and I say really quick, but then I ramble. Okay, but actually, though, long story short, I'm really hyped to this game because Marvel Spider-Man was beautiful. So, obviously, Miles Morales will be chef's kiss, throw a little bit of salt on that bad boy.
Why are you
That's
throwing
kinda what they
salt
did.
on
They
that
just
bad
took this
boy?
Yeah, they took this nice ass steak, right? Like this prime ass meat, and then that was Marvel Spider-Man. And then Miles Morales took that same ass slab of meat, and then
Same
just like they
ass
kind of like
slab, people. Same
yeah,
ass.
and then they like punched it a bit a couple times to like make it look a little different, but
Punch
like
the
it's
booty meat.
to get the meat tender, and then they just threw salt all over it. They just threw salt all over it to season it and really like bring out all the flavor.
You
That's Miles
season
Morales.
that booty. You season the
Oh,
booty
I
meat.
don't know why. No, this is a cooking analogy,
You
okay? Get your mind out of the
season that
gutter.
booty meat. You're the one who
Trying
said
to-
it. You called it an ass slab. He called it an ass slab.
Yeah, it was big
He
hyphen
knows.
ass.
I know, it totally
Not
was.
ass slab hyphen. Anyway,
So yeah, looks like more Spider-Man. So if you like Spider-Man, this is more Spider-Man.
more Spider-Man, but with the flavor just oozing out from the top. Like it just seems like they have, I don't know. Again, they've taken their old formula, which the combat was very very satisfying, and I feel like they took Miles's new ability, the things that make him different from Peter, which is a great deal if you know anything about Miles.
Yeah.
Because he's not like an exact copy of Peter. He's got a range of new abilities, like I don't know, like a spark, shocking move. I don't exactly know how that stuff works, but I mean, there's enough to set him apart from Peter and add a little bit more complexity to the combat system. Where again, I just feel like this is going to be like just a beefed up version of Spider-Man, and that's amazing. With a new character, with a new story, I'm just happy. I'm just beyond excited for this game, and to just be able to play as Miles. Like I'm just really excited for that.
Do you have any after that trilogy speech?
I didn't play the original Marvel Spider-Man. I think I bought it and never got to. But yeah, it was on sale or but I do like Miles Morales. I'm on the fence on whether or not I like him more than Peter Parker. But just the thing I'm liking about this is it's not just part 2, Peter Parker again, all that trash. They're actually changing things up. Like Brennan said, Miles has his own way doing things. So if they can kind of keep what made the first one so charming, and be able to apply that to Miles, I could see this game be.
I never played the first one either, but it's on my list of to play, and I think it might be something I pick up if they bring the first one to next gen console.
Backwards compatibility.
There you go. But I think the one thing that I really like about all this is what Mike said, is that they didn't just copy and paste Peter Parker and turn him whatever race Miles. Like, Miles is his own character. He is his own person. Has a different personality. He has a different skill set. He is different from Peter Parker. And I think that definitely puts a new twist on it, because we're all used to seeing Peter Parker as this white, scrawny kid. And it gives new representation. It makes it new and exciting. You have somebody different. You have somebody of color. You have somebody that has different moves and has different aspects and experiences and all that stuff. And so I think it's definitely great to see that Spider-Man can literally be anybody. So I think that's really cool. I remember a lot of people liking the first game. It was very big. Lots of people enjoyed it. So I'm definitely curious to see where they go with this one. I think my only thing is I feel like they could have come up with a different.
Nah, man. They want you to know straight up who the new Spider-Man is. So you don't forget.
Okay. I feel like there should be a meme that goes with that, but I can't think. I have a stupid question. I'll save that stupid question for, in all honesty. Anyway, so our last game that we're talking about for November is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. It is a hack and slash game developed and published by Omega Force and Nintendo. It's coming out exclusive to Switch, of course, and that is going to be November 20th after all this hype about Xbox.
Hype City, dude.
Yeah, Nintendo's like, don't. These new consoles are coming out. Don't doubt us. We're gonna drop some shit.
Remember that baller game that we dropped a couple years ago? Well, here's a goddamn prequel. And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, we already know how it ends, but we're gonna drop all of our money anyway."
Pretty much.
That's how you do it. But I mean, that being said, though, Mike, have you tried the demo yet?
No, I haven't. I played the original Hyrule Warriors and liked it. So I was kind of assuming I might love.
Yeah, probably. I feel like, yeah, just based off of the whole Warriors Mosu thing, then yeah, probably. I was able to try it last night, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was just really cool to see what Hyrule was like, in its prime. First off, all the characters in their prime. Playing as Impa was kind of wild at first. I really had no idea what I was doing with her, because, like, I don't know, especially after playing Zelda for so long, and again, I've never played Hyrule Warriors, so this is like the first time I'm playing a Zelda game where I'm not playing as Link. So switching over to Zelda and Impa for the first time was like a really, really cool feeling. It was, holy shit, I'm never taken control of Zelda other than Smash Brothers. So this is really weird for me. Like, I don't know, yeah, it just felt really cool. All of the characters and their movesets felt natural to them. Mowing down waves of enemies never felt better in a Mosu game. It was really, really interesting to see how many elements of the first game were, like, not copy and pasted, because that's not really what it feels like. More just that it feels analogous to the first game, and that they build off of each other. You're going to see a lot of the same materials, the same eating items, the same weapons. But to me, it more felt like it was a cohesive world rather than just Iron Sword, number 30, I enjoyed my time with the demo. I thought it was really cool. And to be honest, I'm pretty excited for the full thing. I did skip all of the cutscenes, though, because I didn't want any of the story spoiled. And all I know is that there's just this giant little, not giant, it's just little guardian egg that follows you around. And it's the cutest thing ever.
Cuter than Spider Cat?
It's up there. Spider Cat's probably cuter, to be honest.
Spider Cat
I don't
is
really
the
think anything beats that.
cutest.
If the little egg guardian were to hop on Link's back and wear a hat, then maybe. But I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for Hyrule Warriors. I think it's pretty cool, and I feel like it'll build hype for the inevitable Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yeah, when I said I had other shit to buy, I was talking about.
Yeah.
I love Musou games. They're really fun. They're really good. But Zelda, it just feels so badass when you do play like as Link or Zelda, and you're just mowing down your enemies. Like I like the Dynasty Warriors games, but there was just something about being Link while kicking everybody's ass that made it.
Yeah. That was like why I picked up like Fire Emblem Warriors at first, just because like, oh, I could be fucking Corn and just kill thousands of people. It's the same thing with like young, attractive Impa. I'm like, whoa, I can ninja kill 1,000 people? Not people, moblins, whatever.
Wobbling.
It's just, I don't know. It's just wild. I feel like it's just really cool because it gives a lot of context to Breath of the Wild. I have to sneeze.
Cute.
Thank you. Yeah, like I feel like it brings a lot of context to everything that happened in Breath of the Wild. So I feel like when, someone that plays this does go back to the first, or, they are inevitably playing the second one, I feel like they could just have way more of a grasp on the overarching history and story of the game. And to me, that's just really cool. I don't know. I feel like players like imagine what the Hyrule War looked like, but now actually have like a definitive picture, and it's just really, really interesting. Also, apparently there was this trailer where you can like control the divine beasts to some capacity. That's baller as hell. Sign me up for that action.
I think it'd be interesting to be able to see what actually happened before.
Right? Like,
we know how it's gonna end, but just the journey to that ending would be really nice to see what for ourselves see what happened.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot. There's we know how it ends generally, but like, there's still a lot of like, what's the moment that each one of the Guardians goes down? What's the exact thing that happens to Link when he goes down? How does Zelda do all of her shit? Like, I feel like it's gonna try and at least answer all of those questions, and hopefully we get satisfying answers to that, because that would be really, really, really cool. It's just a cherry on top of a really nice cake. I'm just talking a lot about food tonight. I don't know.
Get me hungry, bro.
I think that this is definitely something to pick up and play eventually. I might just get it for Christmas. Because I'm definitely interested in it, but it's not something that I'm like, I'm gonna buy it day one. It's something that I'm like, I'll probably play it eventually.
Yeah, respectable.
Yeah.
It's Nintendo. I know it's gonna be full price for years, so there's no point in me buying it anytime soon, because that bitch is still gonna be full price in 2 years. So, it's still gonna be there.
Yep. You're not wrong. It'll have that Nintendo quality.
Exactly. So, after we sit here and ponder when Nintendo is going to raise their prices, make us all go broke and basic ants, we are going to briefly talk about some gaming news. So this month it was announced that Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be delayed a 10th. A lot of people are extremely upset about this. Developer is getting death threats. They are being overworked on this time crunch. Even on the crunch before that, there have been numerous tweets. Somebody said that they saw some of the people who worked for CD Projekt Red and sick. Some people have said that they have barely been paid for the work that they do. So there is a lot going on with this game at this point, but right now we are just going to basically talk about the delay, talk about the death threats, talk about the reason for the delay, and just give kind of our thoughts on what's going on at the game. Has taken several years, and it's just when.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off just straight up. Why the fuck are you not surprised? Why are you so surprised? I mean, the only problem I see is because it was announced gold earlier this month.
Yeah.
It seems to me like they announced it was gold too early, went back to be like, okay, we got to get the day one patch going. And then they were like, oh shit, the game's not ready after all. We got to delay it. And it doesn't surprise me. I'm just like, I kind of This game's been delayed like what 4 or 5 times already. Another delay just doesn't surprise.
Supposed to be April, then it was supposed to be September. Then it was November. Now it's December.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like I'm looking back on it, I'm not surprised back on the development history. But again, yeah, I kind of was surprised just because they had initially said that the game had gone gold. So when the game went gold, I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, cool, we're done. It's over. It's final. It's gold. They said it. It's official tweet. So when they went back on it, I mean, yes, I can understand people being upset and angry. What I will never understand or condone is sending death threats to the developer. Don't do that ever under any circumstance. Because while personally, very personally, I am kind of upset. Sure, why not? I wanted to play the game now. God damn it. This is gonna be like amazing. But hopefully. But first and foremost, like I just want to make sure that the people making said game for me in the audience, not just me specifically, but the audience. I want to make sure that they're okay and can actually, complete the product without dying in the process. No part of me wants the human life to be a factor in whether or not a game gets shipped to my door or not. That's horrible. I would never want that. From death threats to crunch, either part of that spectrum. I don't need that shit, dude. I don't need my developers, worrying about like if anything's gonna happen to them and their family, or if they don't work a 100-hour work week, that something's gonna happen to them or their family. Like I don't get that. I don't see why, and I will never see why threatening the developer in any way solves that problem. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's just like I'm upset at the thing, but then the response to the thing is so much worse than the thing itself that I just sit and go, I don't even know who I'm mad at anymore.
There is absolutely, I'm just going to say this now. There's absolutely zero reason why you should be threatening somebody's life over a video game, over anything for that matter. Unless like they did something absolutely horrible to you, then okay, we can talk about that later. But if it's over a video game, you are outrageous. You need to calm your sense of entitlement, Todd, and you need to relax. There are other things in this world more important than Cyberpunk 2077 coming out on time.
And it was 3 weeks. It's not like they delayed it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, exactly.
You can't wait 3 more weeks. Relax. Relax.
Here's the thing. I tell people this a lot. I'd rather a game gets delayed and it's a better game than them releasing it earlier and it's a shit show. Yeah. So if they delayed this game again, they must have been like, wow, there's something wrong with this. We have to delay it. It's the best that people, able to get.
I feel bad for the people making. They don't deserve this. They don't deserve being overworked, potentially underpaid, because I don't know how much they're... And then they get death threats. Like, these people are breaking their back for something they love, for something that they want you to enjoy. The least thing that you can just give them the goddamn decency to not have to sit there and worry about, holy shit, am I going to walk out my front door and die today because some 12-year-old is pissed that he doesn't get his video gamey-wamey on time.
After his 100-hour work week, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her.
Whatever pronoun. It's absolutely ridiculous. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, these people deserve to be paid a respectable wage and overtime for all the work that they're doing. They also deserve a goddamn fucking full year vacation after putting up with the massive sense of entitlement that some people fucking have. Like, it's ridiculous. It's absolute. And I understand it. I understand everyone getting mad because they just said that they went gold and now they have to go back. But it is what it is. Like, I saw some people say on Reddit, well, if PC and next gen runs fine, why not just put those ones out and then delay current gen? And I'm like, I understand that, but at the same exact time, like, you don't know how long the current gen fix is going to take. And it just makes sense to, like, I feel bad because you want to release it all at once. And some people are like, well, I'd rather have it sooner because I have the $500 to get the next gen console, but not everyone has the money to get a console. So it's only fair that they push it back all at once so everyone can enjoy it at the same exact time, not just those select people that have that extra money lying around. So
Yeah, that's fair.
It's amazing what human greed will push people to do.
exactly. Like, I get it. People have been waiting for this game for, and you finally here's the release date, and then they delay it, and then here's the release date, and then they delay it. At this point, you've heard it so many times now. Like Mike said, are you really that fucking surprised? Like, it is what it is. Like, I still think this is a very ambitious game. I'm still very curious to see if it can pull off every say that they want it to pull off. And we'll just have to wait and be it coming out in December or next December or 20 years from now. That's the only thing that we can just wait.
Like I said, it's a 3-week delay.
You have other things to play.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you're not picking up like 2 or 3 games that are coming out in the month of November. Like, let's go. There's at least like 120 hours or more of video games that you could be playing for the whole month that you have to wait. You'll be fine. Go do your
Yeah,
homework.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be good.
Exactly. You heard it here first. Stop your whining. Stop your crying. Get off your keyboards. You little keyboard warriors. I'm looking at you. Go hug your mother or your dog or your cat or yourself. The world's spinning. If they cancel this game tomorrow, guess what? Fuck it. They canceled it. You'll get over it. It's not the end of the world. You're still alive. Some of us would add unfortunately to the end of that sentence. Not trying to sound depressed here. So, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And we have to respect what these people do for us. We want them to create great games. We need to give them the time and space to do that and respect their process. And that's something that we've lost. There's other games that we can be playing in the meantime while we wait for these people to get done with the next thing that so respect to the people that make your entertainment. You have no sense of entitlement. People can say fuck it and not make a single game for the rest of their lives. Aren't owed anything. They owe you absolutely nothing. Because your money funds them doesn't.
Well said.
If you can't tell, I'm a little passionate about this. Death threats are fucking stupid. So, anyway, after that whole episode of BTD for November 2020, we're going to kick it over to final thoughts.
Death threats to developers or anyone ever, for any reason, under any circumstance, any weather, in any season, in any hemisphere, on any planet, in any solar system, in any galaxy.
Yeah. There's other games coming out, guys. You're not gonna have nothing to play. It's not like Cyberpunk 2077 is the only game coming out this. I know you got backlogs. Don't send death threats. Immature and
Play Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
torture them.
Damn. And yeah, just don't be a keyboard warrior. We don't need more. Be nice to the people around you. Be dicks to the people around you. To you. That's about it. We don't like next one. Do a no bullying podcast. JK, that'd be. But anyway, that is it for November's episode of Buy It, Try It, or Deny It. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to having you around for our Game of the Year episode in December. We also have some very big news, so get excited for that present underneath the Christmas tree. I'll end it here. It's your host, Haley, with Brennan and Mike.
Later.